Ahora le damos la bienvenida a nuestro segundo speaker, a Alan Bostakian. Esta conferencia se titula Hacer Universidades Corporativas, abordar los problemas de las empresas de manera integral.
Okay, hello everyone. Let's start the presentation about ensuring the strategic alignment that corporate universities promise. Here you see a summary of my background, but I don't want to take your time for it. I just want to mention that I've helped multiple large organizations in the development of their corporate universities, as well as the related change management efforts for development of their university. And I've also developed processes and QA models for corporate universities. One of the typical differences that we see between most traditional training departments and the established corporate universities is the better alignment of corporate university with the parent organization's strategic plan, preferred direction, and vision, all of these alignments. In our journey today, first, I'll talk about the definition of corporate university and its objectives, then about the benefits. After that, about the elements of good corporate university design that ensure the promised strategic alignment, the main area of this presentation. And finally, I briefly talk about corporate university blueprint that can help you in designing a good corporate university. Today, we want to talk about corporate university. As I mentioned, the important thing to remember is that today's topic is about an entity inside the organization, similar to when we create a new department or a new branch or agency within the organization. It's not about only a new training program. It's not about academic university that accepts students into degree programs. We're talking about a corporate entity, a part of corporation. One of the typical differences that we see between most traditional training departments and the established corporate university is the better alignment of corporate universities with the parent organization's strategic plan, preferred direction, and vision. The first corporate university was created by General Motors, GE. Now there are thousands of corporate universities in the world, and some of the famous ones are McDonald's Hamburger University, Apple University, Disney University, and Boeing Leadership Center, many, many more. There are many definitions for corporate university, and I just prefer this one. Corporate university is an entity as well as a management intervention that takes the organization into a new, robust, and a sustained phase. I like this definition because it considers sustainability, and it also looks at the corporate university from a transformation point of view. A corporate university should be a strategic entity that helps its parent company in achieving the goal, obviously. It should be strategically aligned with the parent or company's objectives. We will talk about that because it's the umbrella for many activities. It's a hybrid entity that brings together many functions. The corporate university is accountable to the parent enterprise. So it's not separate totally. It's accountable. It also means the corporate university structure should be operated with efficiency, purpose, value. It's not something that we just create to have something nice. So what's the difference between a corporate university and academic universities, which is more familiar? Some of the fundamental goals, which means providing instruction, facilitating R&D, research and development, and also providing recognition are kind of same. However, how to manage them? Their strategic goals, the processes involved, and developmental objectives are different. Let's have a quick comparison between academic university and corporate university. In academic university, we have admission of students, but in corporate university, we have assessment of employees' skill. In academic university, we have qualifications with pre-designed curriculums. However, in corporate university, we have lifelong learning and professional development with dynamic curriculums. Academic universities are kind of marking oriented, based on marks, A, B, C, D, versus corporate university, which is job application oriented. what is good for the actual job. In academic university, the main focus is on the success of a student. But in corporate university, the focus is on both organization and employee success, both of them. Now let's see what are some of the differences between traditional training approach and a corporate university. So what's the difference between a training department and a corporate university? That's the question many people ask. Corporate university is proactive, means it's based on a forward-thinking approach that prepares us for the changes or prepares us for problems. And it's a strategy-oriented. It's based on strategy. But the traditional training approach has been mostly reactive to the noticed workplace issues, and has been problem-oriented. Corporate university has long-term and a strategic, considering big picture, the strategic goals versus short-term and operational goals of most training departments. We're talking about reality, not whatever we advertise for training departments, but the reality. It covers the corporate university, all stakeholders, including employees, suppliers, vendors, organizational partners, even customers, and focuses also on organizational development, but training departments typically cover employees only focus on employees. A well-designed corporate university is doing its mandate like a business within a business. So it has accountability, purpose, efficiency, all of these things. And they have business plan. Traditional training approach is focused on operational mission, typically only with project plans. In corporate university structure, we share partnership and accountability within many stakeholders. But in a training department, we have exclusive ownership of training programs for the training department. Corporate university can have a highly established higher education and certification or recognition role. Training departments have no or very limited certification or recognition role. Corporate university programs are integrated. The entity provides the right learning package for the right person in the right place at the right time. But in many training departments, we have isolated and event-based programs. Corporate university contributes in building brand. They can make the organization the employer of the choice and create competitive advantages. Traditional training approach typically has no serious or effective involvement in building brand for the parent organization. Corporate universities are established for a variety of reasons. It depends on the organization. Here I want to share some main benefits with you, but it's not an exclusive list. Each organization can get customized or additional benefits from corporate university. But let's talk about the typical benefits. Corporate universities can drive high-level strategies and align research and training objectives with the strategic plans, the main topic that we have in this presentation. Corporate university helps the strategic initiatives meet their objectives. They help drive leadership potentials in the organization and making it ready for business challenges. It helps in advancing leadership competencies, helping middle leadership, middle managers team understand the strategic direction of the parent organization, its importance, and how to be engaged in that. The corporate universities support change management and improve sustainability of the change impacts. Corporate university helps staff to adopt changes more quickly. We will also have higher realization rate. What is realization? That means delivering on the change project's promises, what we promise for the change. They also create a culture where change management point of view is a norm in the organization culture, so people understand it. The support can also include advancement of change management skills for anyone responsible for or impacted by the changes. They help identifying and measuring the learning gaps. They promise a common culture, values, and loyalty in the company, in the parent organization company, I mean. They drive quality and innovation to remain competitive. It's important. The corporate university implements continuous improvement processes. They help retain and promote employees. Why? How? By offering the right succession planning. Corporate university also can reduce the need for external stakeholders because they help developing capabilities and competencies internally. They establish learning culture. They increase organizational performance by providing the right development opportunities. They provide quality programs by centralizing organization-wide resources and having consistency, which is so important. They integrate processes for vendor selection and vendor management. They monitor investment in learning and development aligned with the strategic goals to make sure it's aligned. They perform a big picture needs assessment and competency assessment to identify all the requirements. They establish university partnership with academic sector, with academic universities for offering some customized programs or certifications to the employees. Corporate university can offer comprehensive orientation program for the new employees. They offer centralized and integrated knowledge management capability. Of course, they integrate research and development, R&D, and L&D, learning and development. Corporate university advance the organizational brand. We already talked about that in previous slide. They transform separate and disconnected courses into integrated curriculum. Considering all the mentioned benefits, having a corporate university helps us to advance the utilization of human resources, which is critical to the execution of the strategic plan for that alignment that we talk about, and improve the organizational agility to manage the related initiatives efficiently and quickly. The most effective strategy to have executive buy-in is the alignment of organizational strategic goal. So this alignment is important. Contribution to branding is also important for winning in the talent war with other organizations, because all organizations are kind of fighting with each other to attract best talents out there. Certification partnership with academic university is another competitive advantage, because people like to go to organizations that provide all those opportunities. Okay, let's talk about the plan elements to ensure a strategic alignment of corporate university. Vision and mission. The purpose, vision, and mission statement for the corporate university should be aligned with the plan organization strategy. That's important. The governance. Choose the member of the corporate university governance committee who believe the overall organizational strategy. To have more chance of alignment, this entity can report to the head of organization, highest possible. Objectives. Define the corporate university objectives in a way that is aligned with organizational strategic goals. For example, the impact of corporate university on all stakeholders. Business strategy. I already mentioned that. Corporate university should act like a business. Therefore, it should have a business strategy aligned with the parent company's strategic plan. That's the key. Parent structure. Where in the parent organization the corporate university will be located is also a factor in its importance of achieving the strategic objectives. Product and services, the alignment of learning and coaching products that corporate university provide, and other services such as certification, consulting, research, all of these are important. Competency framework, the assessment framework and the competencies need to be aligned with the organization's long-term goals. To meet those goals, we need competencies that help us to meet the higher goals of the organization. And having a communication plan, that also needs alignment. Milestones. The important milestones for each phase of the corporate university development should be based on defined high-level milestones of the parent organizations. So if you want to achieve something by the end of the year, corporate university should help in that journey. Partnership. Who will be the partners or strategic alliances? That should be based on parent organization's priorities. Stakeholders. Defining internal and external stakeholders and their interests. Have a plan for a stakeholder assessment. Marketing. Your plan to market the corporate university. So when you want to tell, we have a corporate university and these are the benefits, and the vision, defining its brand, even designing its logo and the desired competitive advantage message, all must play their role in the alignment. We need to consider developmental phases for corporate university, including the sequences that are all aligned with the overall timeline that the parent organization needs. Operational model of the corporate university means how corporate university would be managed and operated, the actual corporate university, and the high-level overview of the workflow all need to fulfill the alignment. And finally, KPIs, performance matrix, evaluation strategy, how we would gather data and how we would report. The KPIs for corporate university should be based on desired business outcomes of the parent organization. That's another key element. Okay, now let's see how we can design a corporate university that aligns with the strategic goals of the parent organization. Why we're talking about this? Because some of the organizations just rename the training department and call it corporate university. That's a fake corporate university. It's not a corporate university. It's just renaming the training department. We really need to design a corporate university in a way that it is a corporate university. The corporate university blueprint is one of the architecture tools for managing all stages of development of corporate university, creation of a corporate university. And it can be used to help the project management efforts for the project of creating a corporate university. So it's a kind of base for project management, how to create a corporate university. This blueprint is developed by Global Association of Corporate Universities and Academies, and provides action-focused details and accelerate the creation of corporate university. So let's review the elements, the decision stands, they call it decision stands, the elements that are covered in this blueprint. Design corporate university strategy, including strategic direction, policies, how corporate university would support vision and mission of the parent company, and how we want to interact with the center of excellence, if we have one. Management development programs, including leadership development platforms and programs. It also covered the engagement of leadership team. Supporting learning infrastructure for all roles, managers, supervisors, coaches, others, all, and include a plan for advancement of the required competencies for each group. Standard and best practices. This is about regulatory standards, industry best practices based on your industry, environment or sustainability best practices, these kind of things. Management and administration. It's about personnel resourcing, contracts, customer selection, customer service, how we want to do that, and program management. Knowledge process and systems, including database selection, procedures, access to that, related research, all of these. Management intelligence, including the corporate university library and other electronic sources, how we want to manage that. Internal and external marketing function, marketing to executives of the company, marketing to managers or other audiences, marketing to partners and external bodies. We want to sell the idea. Also covers how we engage employees to ensure higher adoption when we have changes, transformation, all of these projects. Quality assurance systems and procedures. The QA models, the external intellectual partnerships are all part of this section of the blueprint. And finally, data protection and security, which is about access protocols, as well as security and safety, all of these around the corporate university. Okay, Some people say, oh, it's hard to create a corporate university. And most of them provide one of these reasons, one of these three reasons why it's challenging to develop or create a corporate university. These three challenges that you see on the screen. So I want to just talk about them and just provide a tip how to manage that. Budget or investment. Then they say, oh, we have problem with the budget. Okay, for that, your corporate university can be funded through enterprise allocations or by charging business units. You can charge business units by providing services to them internally. Developing a compelling business case would help us here. Calculate the return on investment, ROI, this famous ROI is helpful. Creating a corporate university obviously needs either a cost or investment in the organization. An alternative to ROI, if ROI calculation is hard for you, the alternative can be return on expectations, or ROE. ROE is about creating and showing the organization value. What kind of organization values this corporate university is going to provide? Remember, who is defining the values? Stakeholders. So you need to ask them to be able to create a good draft message. The second one, if you are busy with day-to-day mandates, in that case, if that's your challenge or that's how you see your challenge, it looks like corporate university is not a priority at your organization. Focus on presenting the gaps for your executives and try to visualize the future state, how future can be by having a corporate university. And what kind of new competitive advantages you can have by having a corporate university. That would be my tip for you if that's your challenge. The third one and the last one is if in your organization, training and development is seen as kind of in a reactive style. It's not a surprise if many organizations use learning and developing in a reactive way instead of proactive. You want to work on developing a culture that sees learning and development in a proactive manner. That takes time. It's not like this, but you need to start working on that. You can also focus on showing the benefits of developing capabilities and competencies for internally, for sustainability of your organization. That is going to be attractive to executives because they want to have sustainable organizations. So that can help you manage this challenge or obstacle. Thanks so much. Hope my presentation has been helpful in increasing your awareness about huge opportunities that we can have with corporate universities. Thanks again.
Muchas gracias, Alan. Gracias por tu presentación, gracias por tu predisposición. Súper interesante escucharte compartir tus conocimientos. Gracias.